זמור לדוד. אדוני רואי לא אחסר. בינו שירביצני על מי מנוחות ינעלני. נפשי ישובב יענכני במגלי צדק למען שמו. גם כי אלק וגצל מוות לא ידע רק כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפני שולחן נגד שורדיי. דשנת בשמן ראשי כוסי רוויה. אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. Words of the 23rd Psalm. Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Giving me repose in green meadows, leading me beside the still waters to revive my spirit, guiding me on the right path, for that is God's essence. Though I walk through a valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your staff and your rod comfort me. You prepare a banquet for me in the presence of my foes. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and kindness shall be my portion all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So we all gather here this afternoon, sadly, to say goodbye to Harold Smordin, of blessed memory, who was known to the Jewish people by his Hebrew name, that was Chaim Baruch ben Leib ve'Ethel, Zichrono Livracha, son of Louis and Ethel Smordin, of blessed memory, the brother of Phyllis Adler, and also of Shelby Smordin and Stan Smordin, of blessed memory. Beloved husband of Selma Smordin, the father of Marcy and Rick Allison, Susan and Arnold Erles, Jill and Ron Steer, the grandfather of Jamie, Lee, Diana, Adrian, Carly, Tara, and Adam, and the great-grandfather of Nathaniel, Ava, JJ, and Jacob Harold. Harold Smordin passed away on October 24th at the age of 92. So today we are saying farewell to a man who accomplished a lot during his life, yet many people may not even be aware of all the great things Harold Smordin, Zichrono Livracha, did during his life because of his humble character. Jewish values are aspects of personality and behavior that the Torah sees as desirable in the way an individual approaches the world. One of the most important and highly celebrated Jewish values is that of anivut, which translates as humility. As we read in the Torah, and I quote, And the man Moses was the most humble, in Hebrew it says, anav me'od, above all the men that were upon the face of the earth. The Torah mentioned this praise of Moses being the most humble person after Moses was described as a man who spoke with God face to face. When Korach tried to organize a revolt against Moses' leadership, Moses was clearly upset. But the most amazing thing was his words to God. Moses said to God, "Don't accept their grain offering. I haven't taken one donkey from them. I've done nothing wrong to any of them." You see, Moses could have argued that he was a worthy leader because he took them out of Egypt, or because of his unprecedented closeness to God, or because he was a source of miracles, or because he spoke face to face with God. Instead, Moses, in his great humility, simply said that his most important achievements in life was his honesty. I haven't taken one donkey from them. He was saying that he did all these great things he did during his life for the people of Israel without expecting any retribution. And as Moses, Harold Smordin, of blessed memory, did so much for so many without asking any retribution. He volunteered for many years, different organizations. And you see, the benefits of volunteering for those receiving help are clear. In fact, the benefits to the receiver and the wider community are usually part of the reason why people decide to volunteer in the first place. But volunteering is beneficial also to the doer for a whole host of reasons, including stress reduction, combating depression, and providing a sense of purpose. All these values could be experienced in Harold's life. But to have a better idea of what I'm saying, there are no better people to share some of the wonderful stories of Harold's life than his own family. That's why I would like to call up to Marcy, Susan, and Jill to come forward to eulogize their father.
What do you say about a man who lived an exemplary life? Do you talk about his integrity, or his sense of humor, or his quiet, gentle manner? Do you relate stories of how he led by example, how he loved his family, his friends, and community, or how he proudly went to work each day doing something he loved? Do you speak of how he protected us, guided us, and mentored us? I guess you just speak to the kind of man he was, our father. Memories were more important to my father than any material object. His greatest joy came from creating good memories for and with us. This we imparted onto our own children and will be a lasting legacy. He would often tell us how happy he was to go to work each and every day. He said, "When you go to work, make sure they get an honest day's work from you." Following these simple words allowed me to enjoy the simple career that I have today, a successful career. He taught us to set goals and then design a plan to achieve them. If the plan did not work, he was there to encourage and advise us until we found one that did. He was a kind and gentle man who never said a harsh word about anyone. He is respected by all that knew him. He was always considerate of others' feelings which made Dad an ideal role model for us all. Not until I was older, it dawned on me how my father would take us tobogganing each week, but I never remembered how did we get back up the hill. When I asked him, he said, "Simple. I just put you 3 girls on the toboggan and pulled you back up." Imagine him walking up and down that hill repeatedly just to make us happy. It wasn't just us who had fond memories of him, but all our friends he would pile into the station wagon ready for our next adventure. When it came for one of our last visits, Dad said to me, "I am so glad that you came because it makes your mother smile." He loved his family. Even through the fog of dementia, his first thought was not for himself. Although he suffered Alzheimer's, making him forget many things, he never forgot who we were or our special nicknames. He may have suffered the disease, but he wouldn't let it rob us of our connection. Recently, we all sat together and talked about dadisms. Going around and around the table, we remembered them all. Dad, I promise you, we will never forget you. The importance of family and a good work ethic. We will always remember the importance of a memory and being a good person. What better legacy can you leave? Death ends a life, not a relationship.
My father was a strong man in every way that mattered. Strong in character, strong in integrity, strong in love and respect. As difficult as this is, speaking of my father in the past tense, I'm going to try and emulate his strength. Memories that I have and will remain in my heart are ones that you may have only seen in movies. My sisters and I had a great childhood, knowing that we could go to Dad for anything. He was a hands-on dad before they were recognized. I remember him taking us to numerous trips to Dutch Maid, going for car rides to many Manitoba towns, including his favorite s'mores stampede, and going tobogganing in the winter. Dad also had sage pieces of advice. We remember being told not to cross a highway to go to a restaurant, not to order a soft drink before a meal so we didn't fill ourselves up, and making sure we closed the lights when leaving a room. What is really amazing is that I still follow these rules. Dad was such a great role model in the love that he freely shared with my mother, my sisters, and myself. My sisters and I have been very fortunate to find our own version of Dad in our spouses who love him as much as we do. My mom often said that we are lucky in having the type of family that we have. It is more than luck. It was the strength that Dad instilled in all that we share. I will miss you, Dad, even though I will keep a piece of you in my heart forever, and I can still see your twinkling eyes in the eyes of my own children. We love you, Dad, and we'll keep that love as strong as you.
A great father makes all the difference in their children's lives, and that's what Dad did. He had a profound impact on my life in so many ways. Dad was the most incredible role model. He was a classy, honorable person, a man of integrity who earned the respect from everyone he came in contact with. In this time of grief, I feel so lucky. I couldn't have asked for a better relationship with my father and a better father-in-law to Ron and grandfather to our kids, Carly, Tara, and Adam. Dad was fiercely proud of his family and had such a warm and loving relationship with Mom. We witnessed a marriage of 64 years that was filled with love. He adored Mom, and you would often see him reach for her hand or show his affection by rubbing her ear. As Mom would say, he was her Prince Charming. Dad so valued family. He loved having family dinners and sharing stories at the famous dining room table where he appreciated Mom's meals with a standing ovation. I will keep your tradition alive where we often gather at our table in our home in Toronto, that same dining room table. Dad spoke proudly of his children, grandchildren, his parents, in-laws, his siblings, and his cousins. He spent many winter vacations with the Sinaiskis. Everyone was special to him, and you felt it. Dad also valued education. He attended many schools over the years in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Edmonton. He left home at 16 to pursue his studies. He often reminisced about studying for and passing his CA exams on the first try. He graduated as a chartered accountant in 1956 and enjoyed his accomplished career. Dad instilled the value of education in his children and grandchildren. He taught us always to try our best at school and work and was proud of what we accomplished. He himself couldn't wait, though, to teach us the novelties of life. Dad was a very involved parent. As kids, he always wanted us to have fun. He took us to movies, tobogganing, skating on the duck pond at Assiniboine Park, out for ice cream to Dutch Maid almost nightly in the summer, car rides, and countless family trips. He encouraged me to play different types of sports, to be active, but to make sure I had time to relax. As I got older, Dad would make me the best gin and tonics or one of his martinis. I know some of you have had one of those. It wasn't so much about the drink, but the conversations and life lessons that Dad and I had will be the times that I will never forget. He provided valuable, insightful guidance just at the right time, inspired us to work hard, have fun, and be the best person you could be. Dad loved his grandchildren so much. We visited often and spoke on the phone all the time. Our kids wanted to call him because in every chat he made them feel loved. Dad was so excited for our visits and planned outings that included tours of the Mint, going to the Jets games, Gold-Eye games, and the beach. I watched him inspire my kids, and now I see many of Dad's qualities and values in them. One of my proudest moments was publishing an article with him on Sid's group. We wrote about the benefits of meaningful participation in an exercise program at the campus. He never imagined that of all the things he had done to date in life, that he would be a published author. Annually, he was a guest lecturer in my class in the Department of Occupational Therapy course program at the University of Toronto. The students loved his perspective, honesty, and approach, and he got great evaluations. Dad, I would keep the lessons you taught me close to my heart always. Dad had a quiet temperament and didn't let things bother him. He always had a positive outlook, and he never complained ever. Unbelievable. Dad didn't need material possessions to make himself feel good or for others to admire him. He was secure enough in himself. Being a positive role model to us, teaching us to be good people, instilling the right values was important to him. He didn't look for accolades, but rather relish in the everyday accomplishments and activities of daily life. Dad kept busy in his retirement. He volunteered at several organizations and gave back to the community. He was particularly proud of his work with KESO, where he helped Indigenous groups in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Ontario by teaching budgeting seminars, training bookkeepers, and teaching finance and business skills. But when he retired, he said that his new job was to create special memories for the family and to put the fizz in all of our champagne. You sure did that, Dad. You made every moment special. You were always there for me with your words of wisdom, reassuring high fives, open ears, and loving hugs. Dad taught us so many lessons in his kind and gentle way. At our wedding, he told Ron and I to take pleasure in the small things in life. He said it was the little things that mattered, not the big things, and to go out of your way for each other. We will continue to live by your words and be guided by your actions and generosity of spirit. The experiences and memories created with Dad were endless, but the most important thing is how those experiences shape how I live my life today. Dad, you will always be with me every step along the way, as you taught me what really is important in life. I will always honor your memory. I love you so much, and I miss you already.
Thank you for sharing those memories with us. And at this point, I would like to invite Harold's grandchildren to come forward to eulogize their grandfather.
It's in this moment that I really regret writing my speech on my phone, because I could have come up and done a classic Zeta line. Single page, single-sided. I've been fortunate in my life to know many good men, but I haven't met too many great men. My Zeta was a great man. How do you measure the greatness of a man? Is it success in business? Is it his dedication to his community and giving back? I thought about this, and I think the greatest measure of a man is the people that he keeps around him and the love that they have for him and the love that he has for them. In this way, undoubtedly, my Zeta was the greatest man, one of the greatest men. My wife, as I was coming here, remarked to me on the way to the airport that she can see how influential my Zeta was in shaping who I am in my career, in business, who I am as a husband, and now who I am as a father. Zeta was passionate, dedicated, and most importantly, and this is what I'll never forget about him, he did everything the right way. It's not enough to be successful if you're not doing things the right way. Treating everyone with respect, giving everyone an equal voice, treating people fairly. That's true success. Yeah, my aunt mentioned going to Sid's group, and I was lucky enough to join him on some of these, and a surprisingly vigorous workout for a room of 80-year-old men. But each and every person in that group took time afterwards to come up to me and tell me what a special man my Zeta was. And they weren't saying it to him, they were saying it to me because they wanted me to know how lucky I was. But I already knew how lucky I was. They were just confirming for me what I already knew, that he was the best. I'm gonna miss a million little things about Zeta. I'm gonna miss his infectious laugh, and how whenever he laughed, you couldn't help but laugh with him, and his laugh filled the room. I'm gonna miss how excited he was to share things with his family, with others. The example that I love to use is going to the Mint. He loved to share the Mint with everybody. In fact, when the first time my wife met Zeta, that was their first stop, was the Mint. And what otherwise might have been a mundane trip, my wife couldn't believe how excited and how great it was. He knew everything, and he was just so passionate about it. If I could ask one thing of everyone today, it's spend some time and think about how special Zeta made you feel. He had a real knack for, no matter who you are or what you were doing, really making you feel like you were the only person that mattered in that moment. He made me feel special a million times, but the most special he made me feel was the simple things. Coming into the kitchen, seeing my Zeta reading the paper, and him pouring me a huge bowl of cereal, often in a mixing cup. To this day, I still can't eat a bowl of cereal from a normal bowl. Zeta, I'm going to do my best to live up to your legacy. I'm going to try every day to be as great a man as you are. The most proud moment I think I've had is seeing my Zeta meet my daughter for the first time and seeing how enamored she was with him for no reason at all, just because she knew, even at a young age, at 6 months, that that was a great man. My son, I named him Jacob Harold in his honor because I think it's going to be important for me to let my son know where he got that name. When my mom told Zeta that we had named him Harold, he was overjoyed. And he said, "Isn't that a great way to remember someone?" And I really think it is. Zeta, I'm going to miss you. I love you. And thank you for everything.
Zeta knew that I was not a public speaker. So I'm going to keep this really simple. And I'm just going to say that I love my Zeta. And I miss him. And that we're just really proud of him. And we appreciate the man he was. That's it. We were really lucky to, we were really lucky to live next to my Zeta and my Baba. Ever since we were born, we actually lived 7 houses down. And some of the greatest memories, honestly, were just made walking down the street, knowing that we got to go see them. I'm going to be speaking kind of just for myself and my sister. We are the ones that got to, be here in Winnipeg with my Zeta all the time, getting those phone calls, asking us, how's work going? That was always his big thing. How's work? How's school? But for me, I know that my Zeta got to teach me a lot of really great things. First, he did try to teach me tennis. That didn't work out. He tried to teach me about debits and credits. That also didn't work out. But he did actually teach me how to drive. I was lucky to actually share that story during my Bob and my Zeta's 50th wedding anniversary. And some of the other things that I know that Zeta has taught us that has come, I know through my mom and will come through us. I'm not still allowed to cross the highway, but there's just been a lot of really great things, and I wish I'd written everything down. I couldn't do it. But we're gonna miss him. You know that. And Zeta, we love you. I can't do it. Sorry, guys. They're better speakers than we are.
Zeta was truly a great man. It seems to be the theme of the past few days, and today, everyone we speak to says, "What a great man." Zeta was a well-respected accountant who volunteered his time for others and highly valued friends and family. Zeta more than exceeded in his role as a grandfather. He acted as a mentor for me during school. When I would call and share updates, he always provided such thoughtful advice and words of encouragement. He provided such a warmness and always shared how proud he was of us. Just knowing that Zeta was a rock and constant support was beyond anything I could have asked for. Zeta went above and beyond, and I value all of your lessons, support, and words of wisdom. Our relationship was special, and Zeta means so much to me. There are so many memories, trips, and quality time myself and the grandkids got to spend with Baba and Zeta. As young kids, I remember being so excited for our annual summer trip to Winnipeg, walking into Baba and Zeta's house, and Zeta putting us up onto the counter to make bread first thing, followed by teaching us a magic trick. For those who know, Zeta was a magician. Not only did he teach the best card and coin tricks, but he seemed to have a magic way to make you feel special. He taught me the values of hard work, ambition, compassion, using humor, and how to make the perfect hard-boiled eggs. Another memorable Zeta saying was, when you take a vacation, you have to make time to relax. He taught us all the value of love, not only through his beautiful relationship with Baba, but he really showed the love and strength to his family. Zeta, I always felt so close to you. I'm going to hold with me those summer trips to Winnipeg, the cottage, going to see the Viking, the Forks, the park, Sergeant Sunday, the bridge, Playland, the trips you guys took to Toronto, the chats of us trying to convince him and Baba to move closer to us, and all of the special memories and lessons. I will always feel your love and closeness, always. Zeta, I will keep working hard in your honor, and I truly feel blessed to have you as my Zeta. You are one of a kind and truly a great man.
I am so saddened but deeply honored to be speaking at Zeta's funeral. Zeta was truly the best Zeta, and we are so appreciative of the incredible times we got to spend with him. Zeta was someone who appreciated the little things in life. But not only that, he made the little things so special because they always came with a great life lesson. There are countless memories to recount, but a very simple moment that is so engraved in my mind is many years ago, Bob and Zeta were visiting in Toronto. Zeta and I were home alone, and he was making me craft dinner, and it was the best craft dinner you ever ate. And I said, why is it so delicious? And he said, you have to follow the directions. Zeta was not only very practical, but also made the act of having a craft dinner meal so special. One of my all-time fondest memories is coming to Winnipeg for our annual summer trips at Stay at Bob and Zeta's. These trips were our favorite thing growing up. That excitement we felt running off the plane and coming down that escalator in the Winnipeg airport to be greeted so warmly by Baba and Zeta. Nothing was greater than that moment. We would give Zeta a huge hug. He would always ask us, how was the plane ride? And we would drive home, very slowly, I should add. But it didn't matter because we were always so happy to spend time together. The drive would be filled with a great conversation, a typical mention of the berm, Winnipeg's fresh air, and the weather. One of my favorite things to do in the summer was have Zeta take us to Rainbow Stage. Zeta loved watching our reactions to the musicals and always made sure to purchase the best seats for us. And then Zeta became super popular with Sid's group, and they too would join for an epic picnic in the park. Zeta was an inspiration to us all. His pure positivity, his positive outlook on everything is truly indescribable. We learned to work hard, we learned to be strong, or as Zeta always said, Zeta strong. But most importantly, he taught us how to love. An unconditional, all-consuming, and supportive love. Zeta, we love you so much, and we will continue to be Zeta strong as we navigate this world that you so beautifully taught us how to live in, living with integrity and true gusto. We will miss you always, Zeta, and we love you.
Hi everyone, my name is Adam, and I'm Harold's youngest grandchild. Zeta was the most loving, caring, kind person I've ever met in my life. My Zeta has inspired so many people in this world and has touched the hearts of so many. No one in this world ever had a bad thing to say about Zeta. He had such a kind soul and treated everyone like gold. I am so fortunate to have created some incredible memories with my Zeta. I was so close to Zeta, even though we lived in different provinces. I called Zeta a lot, and I loved all of our phone calls where we would talk about so many things like hockey, baseball, football, the CFL of course, or even just to chat about what was going on with my school. We would have endless conversations about the Leafs and why they were so bad, talking about the Jets when they first came back to the NHL in 2011, and also the Winnipeg Goldeyes, where Zeta would keep me updated on all Goldeye player transactions and who was doing well and who wasn't. When I was in grade 11, I decided to take an accounting course, where I would learn the basics of accounting. Zeta was so proud of me and happy when I first told him I was taking accounting. That wasn't the only thing he was proud of, though. Zeta was always one of my biggest supporters and always believed in me, even when I had struggles. I could always count on him for a positive outlook on any given situation. I remember calling Bob and Zeta, telling them I got into Brock University in the sport management program, and they were both extremely delighted and proud. Zeta always valued education as a top priority, and to hear that his grandson got into the university of his choice made him extremely proud as a grandfather. My Zeta also loved sports, and we always found a way to connect through sports, whether we would be playing them together or even just chatting about them. When Zeta and I would play catch on Oak Street, he called himself the scooper, because any time that a ball came low, he'd just scoop it right up, throw it back to me, and we'd keep playing. Zeta also loved taking us to see the Winnipeg Goldeyes play at Shaw Park. He always said his favorite spot to sit was right behind home plate. As expected, we would sit beside each other, and like we did on the phone, we would talk about everything about the team and players. Some of my favorite memories were all the steam trade rides, where me and my sisters would sit at the back of the caboose and wave bye to Baba and Zeta as they watched us start our ride. Zeta would take us to the zoo, Witch's Hut, Winnipeg Beach, and Gimli to go to Playland and see the rocks. He would also take us to the Mint. As everyone says, Zeta loved the Mint and was always so excited to show his collection to us. He also took us to the campus, where we would all go for lunch, and I would get the Greek salad, which Zeta always said was the best. For Zeta's 85th birthday, me and my cousin Jamie got to take Bob and Zeta to the Jets game in their first season, back when they played Tampa Bay, and they won. It was the first hockey game I got to go to with Bob and Zeta, and it was unforgettable. However, one of my favorite memories with Zeta may have just been the simplest, which were our frequent drives to Dollarama just to check things out. This is where I got to spend quality one-on-one time with Zeta. We often wouldn't even buy anything. We would just go check it out. But it was the time that I got to spend with him that was the best part. Zeta, you made me feel so special, and I will miss you so much. You have been such a positive role model in my life, and I will forever be grateful for the special relationship the two of us were able to share. I will always love you, Zeta.
Thank you so much for sharing all those memories with all of us. And it's interesting because I was told that it used to be a time here in Winnipeg where families didn't really want to take the microphone and share memories during funerals. And that used to be delegated to clergy. And I can't imagine that situation, because how can you compare those beautiful words that came from your heart with something that could be read by somebody else? So thank you so much for opening your hearts to us and sharing those memories. And in fact, one of the things that I remember with my conversation with Harold's daughters was about how important was for Harold to share memories and to be sure that people will remember things. In fact, you have to remember that, as I mentioned before, Harold expressed through his life the Jewish value of humility. He also was somebody who volunteered, who gave the gift of himself, which is also Jewish value. The fact that he loved creating memories is also a very important Jewish value. In Judaism, memories are so important that in the Torah, we usually use two different words, zachor and lo tishkach. Remember and don't forget. Remember, yeah, we all said remember, but how can you remember? Then the rabbis say we have to create things so we won't forget. Eulogies are that tool so we won't forget, so we can remember. You see, memory is one of the commandments, one of the mitzvot. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 9, says, "Only be careful and watch yourselves closely so that you do not forget the things your eyes have seen, or let them fade from your hearts as long as you live. Teach them to your children and to their children after them. May the memory of Harold Smordin be a source of blessing, comfort, and inspiration. Let us all say amen. Please rise now for the memorial prayer, the El Maleh Rachamim. El Maleh Rachamim Shochem Bameroimim Hametzeh Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShekhinah V'ma'alot Kedoshim Kedoshim Uteorim Kezoyer Raki Amazirim Ed Nishemat Ed Nishemat Chaim Baruch Belei Ve'etel She'alach Le'olamo Bavur Mitpalelim Ve'ad Atzkarat Nishemato Began Eiden Began Eden Tei Menuchato Lachem Balarachamim Astireu Vesederkeno Favleolamim Otzeror Bitzror Achayim Achayim Et Nishemato Adonai Unachalato Ve'yanuach ve'shalom Al Mishkavo Ve'nomar Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of Harold Smordin, who has gone to his eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life. May he rest in peace. Let us all say amen. You may be seated. In a few minutes, we are going to proceed in caravan fashion to the Shari Zedek Cemetery, located in the corner of Armstrong Avenue and Main Street. If you are coming with us to the cemetery, please remember to turn on your four-way flashers, and please remember to stop at red lights and stop signs. Just remember there are a few photo radars on the way. Immediately after burial, we are going to proceed with a meal of consolation that is going to be at 594 Oak Street. After the meal of consolation, that was also serving as the first day of Shiva. And it's going to be 2 more days of Shiva for Harold, but they're going to be at the Simpkins Center, 1 Falcon Ridge. And that is going to be Monday and Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Everyone is invited to come and to visit with the family. Now, I would like to invite the pallbearers to exit the chapel and to assume their places alongside Harold's coffin. Immediate family can exit now and proceed. We follow the tradition at Cherizedek, you go directly into your transportation. And for everyone else, please stay in your seats. So while the family is exiting, perhaps I can repeat the Shiva instructions. Remember, immediately after burial, meal of consolation at 594 Oak Street. And then tomorrow and Tuesday, it's going to be at the Simpkins Center from 6 to 8 p.m. In a few minutes, I'm going to invite everybody else to exit the chapel. And the tradition is to exit the building immediately and to form two lines right outside the building through which Harold's coffin can find its way into the hearse. It's going to be in a minute. Let's give a couple of minutes for the family to exit first. Thank you all for coming. We can exit now.